Hello and welcome to A Nerd's Journey. I'm your host Mark, and this is the first of the videos with hints and tips that have helped me on my weight loss journey, and I hopefully will help you as well. As always, if you like it, please hit subscribe, but more importantly, if you know anybody who would benefit from these hints and tips, please do share it with them, and leave a comment if there's anything else you'd specifically like to know. There are going to be 4 tips that I think are really important, no matter where you are in your weight loss journey. For me, the 4th tip is the key one. So if you watch nothing else, please do watch the 4th. So let's start. So, there are 4 things I've found exceedingly useful over my weight loss journey, and I'm going to share those with you. So the first one is being stationary, not moving. There are lots of things these days that track how many steps you do. You hear lots of conversations about you should do 10,000 steps in a day. But for me, that's not always possible. But I try and look at it as, am I doing more this week, this month, than I am, or as I was doing last month? Actually make the effort to be more active. Now that could just be walking around the house more. That could be walking to the shops if they're close by. But just try and increase month on month how much activity you're actually doing. Now for some people, go for a run. Brilliant. For me, I'm now walking the dogs several miles every morning. But I didn't get there instantly. I didn't choose one morning to wake up and go from sitting at a computer, sitting at the TV, to walking the dogs for miles every day. I built up to it, and part of that was taking them for longer walks every day. So be mindful. If your lifestyle means that you're sitting at the television, at a computer, at a desk, whatever it may be, and you're doing that most of the day, just try and get up more. There are plenty of things there, whether it's Fitbit, Apple Watches, the step counters you can get cheaply on Amazon and the likes. Whatever it is that encourages you to actually get up and move. Set an alarm. Have an alarm set so that you can actually remind yourself to get up. All it is about is doing more. Did I do more today than yesterday? Sometimes that's not true. But am I doing more this week than I was last week? That's generally true, even if it's just by a few minutes. And that trend should gently continue. So you're doing more and more. If you can do more each week, each month than you were previously, and sometimes you'll have setbacks, you might have a cold, you might be ill, but look at it as a progression. Look at it as, how am I doing over time? That's tip number 1. Tip number 2, another one that was very close to my heart and my stomach, was liquid calories. It's very easy to rack up a lot of calories without even realizing it. Full fat drinks. Do you have sugar in your tea and coffee? All those things do add up. Are you drinking full fat milk rather than skimmed milk? It's one of those things that we often don't think about what we're actually drinking. And it takes a conscious choice to be aware of that and to do something about it. Again, start small. Maybe have less sugar in your tea and coffee. Maybe have less of the full fat fizzy drinks. Change to diet drinks. Just drink more water. There are lots of things you can do in slow, steady steps. It certainly wasn't something I was willing to change at the start, but it's something that has had a big impact over time, because those hidden calories of what you've drunk for the day really do add up. Tip number 3, weekends. It's really easy after you've been working hard all week to think, I'll just have that takeaway on a Friday, or I'll just eat seconds or thirds, or I'll just have that treat, that packet of crisps that becomes 2. It is one of those things that we just need to be mindful of weekends. I'm not saying don't treat yourself. If you've been working hard, that's great. But it's one of those things that what we don't want to do if you've been really good all week is ruin it at the weekend and then wonder why you have a weigh-in and suddenly you've not lost as much as you think you should have done. And I know I'm guilty of that, or at least I was a lot more in the past. But be mindful of it. Just think to yourself, I can have a little treat. I've been good all week. But don't undo all the hard work you've put in that week. Do still go for your walk. Do still be active. Don't just sit in front of the television. In terms of weekends, try and limit your cheat day. Try and limit your cheat day to one of the days, not the whole weekend. If that's a big first step for you, then take that first. I'm not saying you can't have fun. I'm not saying you can't have a few beers or a few drinks. But what I am saying is that if you enjoy yourself too much at the weekend with alcohol, with snacks, with takeaways, then you will just undo all the hard work you've done that week. And then that'll dishearten you for the following week, because you'll say to yourself, but I only had 2 days off. Why haven't I lost more weight? Okay, this for me is the biggest tip. It's probably the biggest tip that we'll go through in any of these videos. It got told to me many times over the years, but I didn't quite believe it. I know that sounds strange. Calorie deficit. Eating less calories than you're burning up. Sounds so simple, but for a long time, I didn't really know what that meant. I ate healthier, but I probably had seconds or thirds. I ate more veg, I ate less red meat. I really tried to behave, but I just ate more. So, how do you work out how much you should be eating? One of the best tools I've found over the years has been TD Calculator, and there'll be a link in the description below. This is a simple website calculator that tells you, as long as you're honest with your weight and everything else, exactly how many calories you should be actually eating on a daily basis. So we've been talking about how many calories, and this is one of the best things that I've found on my journey, and that is the TD calculator. I'll put a link in the description below, but essentially this is something that you can do either in imperial or metric. You can add your details into it, and once you press calculate, this will actually give you your total daily energy expenditure. There's quite a lot of information in here, but it's basically saying if you eat this many calories, then you will be actually maintaining your weight. Therefore, if you eat less, you'll lose weight. And down at the bottom, it's got 3 options here, which is maintenance, cutting and bulking. Obviously, for my purposes, I'm trying to cut weight, lose weight. So in here, it's saying that if I eat 2,138 calories every day, I'll have a deficit of 500 calories per day, every day, and about 1,000 calories is the calories you need to lose in order to lose a pound. So for me, I know personally that I do better at losing weight if I go with a lower carb. So I choose this section in the middle, which is lower carb. And I know that if I eat that many approximately every day and a target of 2,138 at my current weight, I will be losing weight each week. There is a lot of information here. Like I said, I'll put the link below. Please do actually have a look through and see how you feel with it. Again, you've got options in terms of moderate carbs or higher carbs. One of the things that we'll have to work on going forward in this journey together is, do you do better from having higher carbs, lower carbs, or somewhere in the middle? And this calculator will give you that information. But in essence, one of the secrets to losing weight is being in a calorie deficit, eating less calories than you're actually using. If you use the calculator you've just seen with sensible eating, it is one of the most impressive tools to your weight loss. If anything can be classed as a secret, as a cheat to weight loss, that for me personally is the one thing, the TD calculator. There are many out there on the internet. You don't have to use the one I've linked below, but quite a few of them are tied into trainers and nutritionists who are trying to then sell you something. So use a free one. And in later videos we will talk about how to actually try and hit those targets safely. But in the meantime, there is a free program called MyFitnessPal, which if you use that in conjunction with a TD calculator, can actually help you get close to your calories and your macros in terms of your proteins, your carbohydrates, etc. As I said in the clip, I perform better, I lose more weight with less carbs. I've tried keto diets, I've tried every diet, but I've found that just lowering my carbs is something that really works for me. So what you might want to do is take that total calorie that you're meant to have each day, and over the space of a few weeks, spend a week having higher carbs, spend a week having lower carbs, spend a week in the middle, and see how you get on and see how that helps you in terms of your weight loss. You're different from me. What works for me may not work for you, but certainly the simple fact is, if we're taking in less calories than we're using on a daily basis, we will lose weight. And how much weight you lose will really depend on your body and how you get to that number from the TD calculator. Well, thank you for watching along. Hopefully it was helpful. And as always, leave a comment if there's anything you'd like to see going forward or anything about this video. I'll be happy to help. If you enjoyed it and if it's helpful for your journey, then please do subscribe so you can keep up to date with the videos as they come out. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.